Turn synopsis. Friends hiking the Appalachian Trail are confronted by the Foundation, a community of people who have lived in the mountains for hundreds of years. Hey guys, and welcome to my new movie review for the 2020 Wrong Turn. Oh my gosh, I have so many notes for this movie, so bear with me. Wrong Turn is rated, and the duration of Wrong Turn is, and the genre of Wrong Turn is. And Wrong Turn is directed by, and the cast of Wrong Turn is, So straight off the bat, guys, the opening sequence to this movie is fire, and then all of a sudden there's just trees. And the way I saw that element of that movie, that part of that movie in my head, I was like, huh? What? And it was almost like the director saying, this is a horror movie, but is it? Like, it was kind of like that. That's how it felt to me anyway. When you get further on in the movie, actually almost to the end of the movie, realistically, the end of the film, that opening sequence makes total sense. Just letting you know. For anyone who has been following my channel for any period of time, first of all, it's welcome to my movie review. It is so good to have you here. I really appreciate you clicking this link. But anyone who's following my channel for any period of time, you guys know in my movie reviews, I do not do spoilers at all. That's right. Thanks, Mr. Eminem Man. I don't do spoilers at all. So you won't find them in my movie reviews here. If you want to see this movie, go and see it. If you want to be spoiled, go and watch this movie, because I just don't do spoilers. The tampon joke in this movie made me laugh so hard. And I mean, oh my gosh, in any way, shape or form, am I not kidding you? Seriously, no word of a lie. The tampon joke in this movie cracked me up so bad. Oh my gosh, like for real. I literally burst out laughing. When you see the movie, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And those of you who have already seen the 2021 version of Wrong Turn, right? The tampon joke that she makes, oh my gosh, that made me laugh so hard. It probably wasn't even supposed to be funny, but it made me laugh. And realistically, guys, in terms of a joke, that is the only joke in this entire movie. Like, seriously, the entire film. Unfortunately, something I have to say about this, guys, that really, really bugged me was the editing of the guy that was hanging around the car. Now, that's actually in the trailer of this film. And if you haven't seen the trailer, go and check the trailer out, because that is in the trailer. The editing of that was really, really, really poorly executed, in my personal opinion. I was not a fan of that to any degree. I thought it was really, really, I don't know why. It kind of seemed like they just really could have fixed it in post-production. Like, I mean, really. It was almost like the camera, they were trying to get a character to walk across the camera for him to disappear, but it didn't turn out like that. And it was like, huh? And that guy actually is explained later on in the movie, but in that element of the movie at the beginning, it just, the editing of him standing there, and then all of a sudden what happens was like, the execution of it was really, really poor. In movies, something that is actually really, really, really hard to get right, it's really hard to get right, is actually rain sequences. Like, honestly, a rain sequence. Now, those of you who don't know, you're about to find out right now. To film a rain sequence in a movie to any description at all ever, it has to be absolutely torrentially bucketing down rain for the camera to pick it up. Seriously. It has to be torrentially downpour, like absolutely bucketing down for the camera to, and I don't know why that is. Maybe because the raindrops are so small. Maybe that's probably why. But that's the reason why it's so hard to film rain. It has to be absolutely torrentially bucketing down rain. And I actually bought that. I actually bought that element of the movie. It was very, very, very small sequence of the movie, a very, very small scene. But I enjoyed it. I liked it. And for me, it worked really, really well. I thought it was really, really well done. So after they wake up from the tent, and again, this scene is in the trailer. They wake up from the tent and they're freaking out, and this guy discovers something where they set up camp. He discovers where they set up camp. The reason that bugged me so much is that they didn't seem to be fazed by that. And I thought to myself, wait, are you serious? You're just going to just sort of wipe that off as in like, oh wow, we woke up here. Okay. And then they just continued on. And I was like, nah, I don't buy that. No. I don't buy that for a second. There is no way that they wouldn't be totally freaked out by the fact of where they just woke up. Like, really. Like, it was just like, I don't know. To me, as an audience member, I really thought that they would have pushed that element a bit harder to where they woke up because of the fact that, like, you just, like, really? Like, really? You're not gonna, like, be more affected by that? Like, I know, obviously, it was dark, and so, you know, it is what it is. You know, you find the closest place but they had lights on their heads. They had the lamp things. So they would have seen it. So, and I don't know. That was just an element of the movie that made me go, huh, really? But really? This scene bugged me because the reason why was so pathetic and poor. But there's a scene that happens in this movie, and a guy, not a guy involved in the 6 people group, whatever, but another guy that is a part of something else, sporadically disappears, and then a friend who they were actually trying to find early on in the sequence reappears out of nowhere. She's just there, and I was like, and her explanation of being there, I was like, what? Hang on. That's really, that's the reason? And it was, I don't know. And then what had happened in that sequence was so intense and full on. And it just bugged me. I was like, come on, guys. That was so annoying. And the sequence that happens literally prior to that of the hill sequence, straight after the log that falls down, and that's not a spoiler, again, that's in the trailer. The thing that bugged me so much, and I don't know if this is nitpicking, but it really bugged me, was the simple fact, how did the girls just happen to have perfect hair after that hill? Really? How did they just happen to have perfect hair after that happened at the hill? It just bugged me because I was like, no, that doesn't happen. When you do that on a hill, you end up with shit hair. Like, it is what it is. Excuse my French, guys, but it is. You know what I mean? Anyway, guys, I know I'm nitpicking, but still, that bugged me. So there's a sequence in this movie where a girl falls down a trap. She falls down a trap. Again, this isn't a spoiler. She falls down a trap, and where she lands when she falls down the trap, I'm not kidding you guys in any way, shape, or form at all when I say this. Oh my gosh. That was brutal. And I mean brutal. I was beside myself at how unbelievably brutal that scene was. Like, seriously. I genuinely was, I just fell for her. I mean, I really, really fell for her. I was like, oh man, what a punch in the teeth. Now, before I go on, guys, one of the things I really like to talk about in my movie reviews is character chemistry, because in my personal opinion, guys, character chemistry is really, 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 really vital in a movie, in all movies. Storyline is imperative. Storyline is absolutely imperative. But if us as audience members don't buy the character chemistry, then it just falls apart. Like, it really, really does. And we just, as an audience member, we just end up being like, it just, what? And the biggest thing that really, really, really frustrated me about this movie, and it was so, I'm glad it was so small. It was so, so small. But the main girl, Jen, who's played by Charlotte Vega, her dad and her dad's girlfriend, whatever, especially their character chemistry, I did not buy that for 1 second. And I mean not 1 second. And it didn't make the movie fall apart. The reason why it didn't make the movie fall apart was because I didn't fall asleep once in this movie. Seriously. And that goes to show you something, because man alive, I have fallen asleep in so many movies that have come in the cinema lately. I mean, really, and it's so frustrating. But their character chemistry did not work. I didn't feel like they were together at all. Like, at all. I just didn't buy that character chemistry. In fact, it was only until the end of the movie that I really felt that Jen and her dad, Scott, played by Matthew Modine, only towards the end of the film did I believe their character chemistry. But realistically, their character chemistry wouldn't have really worked at the start. And I'm not going to spoil anything, but there's a reason why that wouldn't have really worked. Another little tiny thing that, I guess this is nitpicking. I guess it is nitpicking. But I just didn't buy her as being a villain. I just really didn't buy it. The reason why I didn't buy it is the character, the girl who plays the character Edith, played by Daisy Head, that she bugged me. And the reason why she bugged me, being the villain, I guess you could call her, the reason why that really, really, really bugged me is because, and I know you're going to be like, wait, what? How's that even possible? And this is how I felt. I really did. I felt she was too pretty. She was too attractive to be a villain. I mean, her eyes were gorgeous. She was a really, really attractive woman. And I just didn't buy her at all to be the protagonist, the villain, whatever you want to call her. Like, even towards the beginning of the film, when you see her and she's making those bracelet things, I was like, yeah, I really genuinely, guys, I didn't buy her character as being bad, like, at all. Even though her hair was what she was and she looked like it, in my personal opinion, she was just too pretty to be the character that they were trying to portray her to be. And it just, it didn't throw me off the movie, but it just made me go, really though? Like, really? This isn't a big deal. It's not really a big deal because it's so momentary, okay? It's so momentary. But the scene where he feeds her the apple and then something happens after that, the scene directly after that with the dad in the diner, okay? The dad in the diner. I felt that scene in the diner dropped the ball. Like, it was a very, very small scene, but I just felt that scene drop the ball for the movie. I felt it wasn't unnecessary because they kind of needed it, but to make the movie continue on, I don't know what it was. I felt they could have put another scene in there and it could have continued the elevation of the movie. But that scene itself, I just didn't, as an audience member, I really didn't buy. I wasn't captivated enough in that scene to be like, oh wow, like what's going on here? It just, to me, it was like, nah, I'm not buying that. Although there were very few of these and far between of these, although it's very few and far between, one of the things I thought was fantastically spectacular about this film, I mean really fantastically spectacular, was actually the aerial shots of of where they were situated. The aerial shots, oh my gosh, the treetop shots, wow. And I mean, wow. I mean, they were incredible. I really genuinely mean that, guys. Like, absolutely incredible. That blew my mind. Honestly, it was just so pretty. It was so beautiful. It was so elegant. And there was very few and far between of them, but what they were really, really good. So those of you who have been following my channel for any period of time, I want to talk about the thing. It is the core element, essential thing in film. It really, really is. Does Wrong Turn have in its core elemental, essential thing, in its DNA, the thing that film needs to be film? So us as an audience member can go back days, months, years later, decades later, and rewatch to be captivated by it all over again. And that's what I like to call, in my personal opinion, guys, the thing that it needs to be film: rewatchability, guys. Does Wrong Turn 2021 have rewatchability in its DNA to go back and rewatch it again? And that, I say to you guys, seriously, yes, it does. And the reason why I say yes is because, one, I didn't fall asleep in this movie, not even once. But two, the story kept going. And it just kept elevating, it kept exciting, and it kept me as an audience member on my feet the entire time of the movie. And that really, really is vital in a movie. Speaking of vital in a movie, one of the things that film needs, specifically at the end of a film like this, is it needs a disturbing element to it to keep the audience engaged, to keep them going, whoa, this is seriously happening. And the escape tunnel scene towards the end of the film was so unbelievably disturbing. That was, honestly, it was gut turning, like for real. And I sort of saw something happening, kind of in a way, but I didn't expect to discover what we discovered as an audience member, like towards her almost getting out of the tunnel. And that was really, really horrifying. And it was brutal, and it was just a real factor to the movie, but it was really, really well executed. Now, there's something that happens early on in this movie, like early on-ish in this movie, and you're like, whoa, what the heck? And when it's the scene where the police car drives past, and he doesn't do anything about the situation. So I'm not spoiling anything, I'm just letting you know that's the scene that I'm talking about. That scene is actually explained later on in the movie, and it's really, really, really well executed. Why they do what they do, like why, and I thought that was really, really well done. I actually really appreciated the fact that was explained later on for us as an audience member, because that we would have been turning around and be like, well, that wasn't right, but the reason why was really explained. The end of this movie, guys, is just, there's a sequence, a slow motion sequence at the end of this movie. I'm not going to give it away. I'm not going to tell you what happens, but I don't even understand why it made my skin crawl the way it crawled. It was a slow motion sequence, and everything about that, everything about that element of the movie just made me go, wow, as an audience member. I mean, seriously, wow. It blew my mind. Like, honestly, it made my skin crawl. I was creeped out by it. And all they were doing was walking in a way, and their facial expressions and all that sort of stuff, and it was just slowed down. And it was just so unbelievably creepy. Yeah. So those of you who have been following my channel for any period of time, you guys know that I love to give you guys trivia at the end of my movie reviews, because at the end of the movie reviews, I like to give you a bit of trivia just so you know what's up with the background behind the scenes of movies. And in my personal opinion, trivia in the end of the movie review is just like icing on a cake, guys. Oh my gosh, and who doesn't love cake? I love cake. So guess what time it is, guys? That's right, you guessed it. Guys, it's trivia time. Not connected to any of the direct-to-TV sequels released between 2007 and 2014 and written by the creator and original screenwriter Alan B. McEnroe. Next piece of trivia is, guys, this is the 7th Wrong Turn film. Next piece of trivia is, guys, the second Wrong Turn film after the 2003 original to be released theatrically in cinemas. Next piece of trivia is, guys, Daisy Head is the daughter of actor Anthony Head, who starred opposite Elijah Dushku, the lead actress of Wrong Turn 2003, and many episodes of TV's Buffy the Vampire Slayer 1997. This is my final piece of trivia, guys, and I'll leave you with this. Here in Australia, this movie has been advertised as Wrong Turn, The Foundation. Guys, you guys are amazing. I appreciate your time so much. If you haven't, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'd be so kind, that would be absolutely incredible. Don't forget to click that bell for notifications. That way when I drop anything, it'll be all yours on your device straight away. And don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this movie review if you appreciate my content. I appreciate you guys being here so much. So amazing to be here. I appreciate it. You have no idea. Don't forget who brought you this movie review for Wrong Turn 2021. This is Superman Steve, appreciating you guys always and loving your time. Thank you for being here. Flying out!